And live in Facebook, it still goes to the old Facebook, huh?
Oh, I don't know.
Page, they don't accept yet my. It will take a couple of months until we'll be able to do it in Transgurus Plus. Okay.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing? Hi.
Yeah.
Wow, nice to see you again. Oh, I hope you like as well to see us again. I didn't see you, but you see us. Anyway, it was a really interesting day, and it is an incredible beginning of the year anyway. But and today I was reading, and I was reading in my team, kind of, and I saw a very interesting thing, which says, "Be fearless. Know that all will be provided at the right time." And I was kind of impacted by these words because, we do live in an incredible world where there's such a lot of fear going around with all these wars and all these politics and all these things. And I think it's really true. Everything will be provided at the right time. It's been the example of all my life. And I put those words for debate with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Hi, everyone. Great to see everyone. I didn't get a chance to say hi to Bobby. Hi, Bobby.
Oh.
When we were warming up prior to going live, Ella was talking about this topic and be fearless. This state of mind needs to be developed. I think there's only two times a person is totally fearless: when we're an infant and when we're on our deathbed.
Yeah.
Everything else in between needs to be managed. And this topic has to do with faith. And I read somewhere a while ago, I don't remember who quoted this, but the first thing we need to determine is whether we live in a friendly universe or a hostile universe. And if you look at nature, I was at years ago, some friends of mine got married in Cape Town, South Africa, and part of the program was the wedding party. Went to Kruger National Park, and we did the African safari. And nature's brutal,
Yeah.
brutal, violence everywhere. It's the survival of the fittest.
Yep.
And it's like in the ocean, you got a school of fish being chased by a shark. The slowest fish is dinner for the shark, and then the shark is dinner for somebody else. And so we're kind of at the food chain, so to speak. And I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I live in a friendly universe. And I think I was just actually listening to a video this morning, getting ready, had to do with the heart energy field. And we have our physical heart, and then we have the heart of our spirit. That's like someone's aura, or you feel someone enter a room. That's what I'm talking about. That can transcend infinite distances. And I think it's through that energy we can maneuver about the planet in such a way that we're in harmony with all things.
Mm-hmm.
And as I listen to historians like Graham Hancock and others, back in the day, you had a tribe of folks sitting around a fire, reminiscing and thinking and looking up at the stars and expanding their mind. They weren't, watching the 8 o'clock news, smoking a cigar and drinking a beer. They weren't They weren't contaminating their being. And I think today's society has kind of deadened the spirit of a majority of people. So therefore, people are fearful. People don't have faith that all things will be provided because these instincts come from within the heart space field of the human. We're a spirit experiencing a human. We're a spirit having a human experience. You know, our spirit is infinite. The body is finite, and so we've gotten away from the infinite spirit, and as a result, there's a lot of confusion and the lack of faith. You know, just all things that come with not having any kind of hope or faith or belief that tomorrow will become a better day. Ella.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think that you only fearless when you are small and young. It's all your life. You should be fearless. It's always difficult to be fearless. Yeah, of course you have to manage your life. I do agree with that, absolutely. But that and fearless is two different things from my perspective.
Oh, yeah.
What you say, Bobby?
Well, you know, it was funny. It was picking up on how Jimmy got started here. But the thing that you read, if you could make like a T chart, and on this side, you put the people who really practice gratitude and living with gratitude and uh, expressing gratitude. And then on this side, you have people who never have enough. They're always falling short. Somebody's got it better off than them, and what they focus on is what they don't have. And so when I hear you talk about being fearless, it's like that's true. But what does that look like? You know, if you're somebody that lives in gratitude, you say, wow, I've got this going for me, I've got this going for me, I got this going for me. And now here's an opportunity for me to do this because I've got all this, you know, I'm grateful for this support I can have. And so, you know, it's a lot, it's more exciting to be fearless when you're a grateful person because you realize how much you're surrounded by, how, you know, just the strength and that's available to you in an opportunity. But on the other side, if you gravitate toward negativity and what you don't have, and how you'll never have enough if that's all you can think about is what you don't have. And then I think about what, you know, if if fearlessness don't like that might mean, oh, I've got to get busy and make a defense system, or I don't know what. But it just I just I think that, especially now, I know it's hard to find a whole lot of stuff to be grateful for, but it's like you need to start because we all are going to need to be fearless, and it's much better to come from a place of fearlessness when you realize, you know, the strength and the power and the support that's all around you that has got you prepared for this moment. You know, it's like I'm equipped, I'm ready. It's just everything is really different when you're a person of gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it as well, very similar to you, between the people which are mostly positive and mostly negative, although I think that there's a mixture between in the middle, which is pretty big. Sometimes you are very positive about one thing and it's not so positive about something else. But anyway, but that is a part of being, you know, looking at things in a critical way. But yeah, fearlessness is mostly with positive people. And these are the people which actually build the world, because if you always start to think about everything that can go wrong,
Well,
you probably will not do much, you know? obviously you have to be thoughtful, and obviously you have to manage, and obviously you have to do everything, but that has nothing to do with fearless of. And I don't think that faith and fearless is the same thing either, because I know so many people which say that they have a lot of faith, but I think they're very fearful, you know. So I think they're two separate concepts. For me, the concept of fearless is that, yes, I'm allowed to have fears. I just try to organize them in such a way that, they don't affect me. To have a fear, sometimes it's a kind of a warning sign, and it is welcome. It's always welcome, but it should not be in such a way that makes you negative about everything. That is from my personal point of view. Actually, to tell you the truth, in all my life, I always followed my fears because that was the source of growth from my perspective. And following your fears, it's probably a bit, it's a little bit fearless somehow, means you try to become fearless. When I was very young, I was always scared of flying.
Mhm.
Now, if you know me, I've mowed more than 4 million miles. I've flown everywhere. But you know what I did? I went to a Cessna flying school, and I went and I to try to fly myself to understand what was going on.
Oh yeah.
And since then I'm not scared of flying anymore. You know what I
Good.
mean? I did that at my university times. It was easy for a young university person to make your flying license, and I did that. And I even flew solo, which was really a great.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I mean,
Oh,
Jimmy knows better because she's a big helicopter flyer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I
But it
didn't know
is
that.
very, very important to see where your fears are. Sometimes you are faced with it because it's part of your life. It's part of your feelings.
Yeah.
And just try to follow them, because that's probably where the greatness is,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, everything we desire is on the other side of fear.
Yeah, absolutely. And many of the people which are constantly negative and always having fears about every single thing, they don't they don't thrive. They have a difficulty to thrive, usually. I mean, this is my experience. Um, so sometimes you have to give that feeling that they are able to grow to do something wonderful.
Mhm.
I mean, I have to tell you, when I transitioned, I was so full of fear, of what are the people going to tell about me and everything. But that didn't stop me from going forward. It
Yeah.
encouraged me to go forward. And in the end, well, it turned out pretty good. God knows what the future brings, but at the moment, it turned me out pretty
You
good.
made the right choice. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not your choice. I know that, but I do believe that there is a positive world in a way. Although we do have pendulums and everything goes from one side to the other, we always talk about that, and it is true. Right now, uh,
Mhm.
being a transgender, 10, no, 5, 6, no, 7, 8 years ago was a trend. Now it's apparently not, at least with some people. So things change. So I think that it will change again.
So as Ella was saying, I think it's true for most of us that in the beginning, everything exists on the other side of our comfort zone.
Yeah,
And now I look back on my life, um, uh, how my life is expanded See, this is how I like to look at it, where our comfort zone is, when we're a kid, our street, then when we grow up a little older, it's the county, and then the state, and then the nation, and then the world, and then the universe.
Yeah.
So I remember when my daughter, uh, growing up, she went to a private school for K through elementary, and it was a moderately sized campus. And then she went to high school, which was a complete city block, and the her comfort zone had to grow. And when she first walked the campus of the high school, it was like mind-boggling. Like, what building do you go to? There's hundreds of buildings, thousands of students. And then when she went to college, which is Auburn University, which is the whole town, uh, so and I'm using that as an example where, and I use this example, the first time I went to the gym with my boobs, it happened to be the gym in Western Broward County, which I call the Redneck Gym. I sat in my car for a good 10 minutes pondering this, and I came to the conclusion that if I don't go into this gym now, I never will.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the best workout of my life. Now I own that gym, figuratively speaking. And and same with other gyms and other just places that the whole idea is to be able to maneuver about the planet in harmony with all things. And we use our heart space with that. And Bobby was talking about a few things. I always try to look at things, take inventory of what we have, not what we don't have. And another way to look at this, it's people always think about, oh, I got to have more stuff. I got to have more stuff, then I'll have more options. And it's not what we got. It's not what we got. It's how we work with what we got.
Yeah.
Is the key. Like a MacGyver kind of thing.
Mhm.
I'll be happy once this happens, or I'll do this, I'll make this decision when that happens. If we live our life that way, it's going to be limited.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is true, yeah. But you should be able to dream a little bit too. I mean, dreams. It's where you want to go. It's where you. So but it's true. You have to learn and to be happy about what you have and cherish every day. And yeah.
Yeah.
Today I am counting every day and going to bed and saying, thank you, my God, because it was a great day, because I got this or this and this. And although there are many things which scare me since the beginning of the year, true, I think the positives have been bigger anyway. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
what do you call it? The balance is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Balance is
Yeah.
okay.
It was, I'm sorry, as you were
Go ahead.
talking, I'm sorry. Did you have something, Jimmy?
No, go ahead.
Oh, as you were talking, I realized how all of us are in different stages of growth and what fearlessness looks like when you're not living full time, when you're kind of 1 foot out there and 1 foot still, in secrecy, that looks a whole lot different. And then when you first, those first few months of being full time, whenever that happens, that's got some things. And then the more confidence you get and everything, a little better you are. And so I'm thinking, this is a time where people do have to be fearless because there are just so many people trying to harm us right now. Um, and it's like, don't take it so personally. Well, maybe you should, but it's like we're really pawns in a much bigger game. Uh, Globally, this kind of theocratic fascism is trying to capture, like in Hungary and Uganda and Malaysia and India, Pakistan, um, just a Republic of China. They're it's a form of where the good religious people are going to control everything here because that's what this country needs. And it looks differently, but it's going on now. And what it is just a hot button issue to get people hating gay people because we're um, we're the means to an end for them because what they're trying to do is get reelected into office and entrench this kind of fascist kind of government. And so we're just pawns in all of this. So it's like you really do have to get fearless and involved right now. What does that look like? It's like, well, you know, there's lobbying political groups. In your community, you could do something to volunteer with if that's your level of comfort, or you could at least pick up the phone and call your state legislators and state representatives. And you don't even have to identify yourself as being part of the trans community, but there is some stuff that everybody can do right now, depending on how that level of confidence and level of fear are looking in your life, just because of how you've been able to play your circumstances. But um, I just, as we're talking, it's, I don't want anybody to think that there was ever a time in my life when I wasn't scared to death of everything. I'm pretty fearless now, but there was a time where I was scared to death of everything, and that doesn't happen overnight, you know.
Sure. Absolutely. I think that is a phase. I had the same phase too. I was scared of everything, and thank God I'm not anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank God I'm not anymore. But you know, by the way, you know, because of these new laws and everything, I have sent messages to my my state legislators already
Oh,
about some of the laws because, and I do that regularly. I always do that because I think I've got a voice, and otherwise I will not
you
vote
do.
next time.
We all have a voice, and that's the one thing I think the thing that empowered me the most is the day I really internalized. I mean, it was like, you know, this is right. Don't you ever doubt it again. It was like there is nobody in this country that's more entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness than I am. It's like that's equal. We're all equal. There's nobody more entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness than me. So why should I be why should I be afraid to
Correct.
to, to experience that? And that was really a turning point for my life. It's like, you know, these people are out there doing living their life large, and it's like, and I'm scared. No, I've got just as much right to live my life as they do, and I'm going to go out there and live
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they think or what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, we have got our rights too. Don't forget that. Never
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
it. No, but you know, you have to be fearless, and somehow, you know, you think that's the world is coming down, but it's really quite incredible. But that how many times things turn around
Hmm.
and so fast. It's crazy. It's really crazy. You know. I mean, both sides. You know, both sides.
And that's another thing too that Jimmy's been good about, and you have too. Is, you know, if we just can calm down for a minute, it's like 2 years ago, I think that's a pretty good estimate. 2 years ago, we were all living look good, you know, life was good.
Yeah.
And then the Heritage Foundation and Americans Defending Freedom and all of these conservative right think tanks started generating like, what can we do to get back in power? And they've hit on a perfect little formula. Let's get everybody to hate the queers. That's what's wrong with this country, and vote for us. And so it's like, oh my gosh, it's really sick and sad, but it's like we really have to do everything we can right now to try to push back against that wherever you are.
And I am absolutely sure we'll be very successful at it because it's only a question of time. Anyway, you know, that's the thing that's really right. Don't fear it, because if you fear it, it's worse for you. And
Yeah.
you know, it will come. Okay, okay.
And I'm so sorry. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I've got a different board meeting that's starting right now, and I've got to leave a little early. That's, I guess, why I was talking so much right now.
Perfect.
But anyhow, I think about you all in Florida all the time, and I'm really grateful for what you're doing because there's so many people right now that's trying to what have we gotten ourselves into, and it's you're right, you're not the problem. So yeah.
Okay, Bobby. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.
See you. Bye. 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 So, Jimmy, no, but it's really true. We have to be fearless, and they have to try to fight for what we need, and in a positive way, and be fearless, because I mean, there's always fears about something, but we have to be able to control it and enjoy what we have, and everything.
So typically, fear comes from the anticipation of a less than desirable outcome of an event.
Correct.
And one of the mechanisms that we can use to be less fearful is to live in the moment. And I know so many people prior to making a move go through all the what ifs. What if this? What if that? And then one rabbit hole after another, after another, after another. And 10 minutes later, you end up emotionally exhausted because you went down every one of those rabbit holes.
Yeah.
So as my daughter says, I live my life in 3-hour increments because when when there's no schedule, all things are possible.
Yeah.
And that's part of my concept of being the leaf in the wind. And I trust the wind is going to blow me where I need to be, when I need to be there, with the contribution I need to make to that situation. And the other thing the second part of the title of today's topic is all will be provided at the right time.
Yep.
And I truly believe that.
Yep.
If I was, excuse me,
It's all right.
if I was this person that I am now, any other time in my life prior to now, I wouldn't have the wherewithal or the management skills or the wisdom or the fortitude or the internal strength to survive the person that I am now.
Yeah.
And so that's embrace the struggle. Embrace the struggle because that's where growth occurs.
Yep.
And it's all these excuse me. It's all these encumbrances, all the challenges, all the problems in life. That's how we develop our problem solving skills. Calm seas never produced a good boat captain. I love that saying. It's the challenges in life that develop our problem solving skills and situational awareness and how to navigate through life.
Yeah.
And if we experience enough catastrophes in our life, we'll develop skills in such a way that we're able to face almost anything and then have the confidence or the wherewithal to be able to navigate seemingly almost through any
Anything.
perceived problem.
Yeah.
Because that's how the universe works.
Yeah.
The universe is in total balance. In, out, left, right, up, down, hot, cold, problem, solution.
Yeah.
And so by seeing even an unsurmountable problem, it wouldn't be unless there was a solution to it. It just can't be the yin and the yang.
Yeah. And that's why I'm an engineer, because I like to choose solutions. There's no problems. There's only solutions.
I remember years ago when I got a job as a assistant mechanic at a shipyard when I just got out of the Marines, and there was a sign over the big double doors to the machine shop. It said, there are no problems here, only challenges.
Exactly.
And that kind of stuck with me. And all my life I've been kind of had a infinity for motivational sayings and so on. And a lot of them I come up with myself, but a lot of them that I see from other folks, I write them down or take a screenshot of them. If I on Instagram, there's a lot of spiritual and motivational uh,
Speeches.
sites
Yep.
that you can cruise through, and a lot of good material. And it's not just hot air. You know, it's these are things. The human mind is malleable, and we can condition ourselves to be a human lighthouse.
Yeah.
You know, not all doom and gloom, and that's what I strive to contribute in these podcast years, the concept of a human lighthouse.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's very, very important. Yeah, you're talking something which is for me kind of the daily motto. If in the evening I always thank for my blessings and thank for what I achieved. Usually during the night and in the morning, I always wonder what my today's challenges that I have to overcome will be, and how to overcome them. Some challenges are going to be, quite quick challenges. Some will take some time. But if you take one little piece of the challenge per day, it's your daily win, it's you've achieved something. Be happy about it. Look for the next one. It's only one a day. From
I remember a couple years ago, Bonnie was another founder of Trans Gurus, and I we all miss Bonnie.
a lot.
We were talking about,
If you're listening, they have to come next time. We're waiting for you.
but we were talking about tips for transition, and Bonnie was saying, um, if you go an inch a day, over a year it's a mile.
Right.
So if we're progress can be conceived as many things, but normally it's a step in the direction of a desired result.
Yeah.
And if we live our lives in such a way that in the mind, body, spirit, those three modalities, if we live our life in such a way that in all three of those modalities, we're at least an inch closer to the desired objective or goals that we have in our life, we'll get that feeling of fulfillment that you're talking about, Ella.
Absolutely.
There won't be a feeling of progress. In the absence of a feeling of progress, there's despair. In the absence of the feeling of progress, there's despair. And so how do we achieve a sense of progress is by physically, spiritually, and cognitively and spiritually live our lives in such a way that every day we find ourselves closer to our desired objective or goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then as these objectives or goals are achieved, they need to be replaced by other ones. And that's how we expand our comfort zone from a kindergarten school to a university campus, and then the universe and beyond.
Yeah. It's true. No, but it is true. One step at a time. That's another word for it. Anyway, do you have right now some important goals that you're looking for, or that you
I am preparing myself for what the universe is going to need in the future. So I think um, um, I we all have an idea like what tomorrow is going to look like, but I live my life in such a way that constant self-improvement, that I'm able to meet or exceed the needs of tomorrow and beyond. And my goal is to be a asset to humanity. a contribution to our community and the world, and somehow try to be a human lighthouse. And we were last week we were talking about some of these conversations get pretty deep, and we were talking about, okay, yeah, so it's the struggles in life that it's the in the absence of struggle, humans flounder. You know, we're designed to solve problems. And there's one, again, we're talking about these motivational sayings. And we were talking about how some of your counselors and, uh, for troubled folks have been to hell and back. You know, your best counselors are the ones that have been to hell and back. And there's a saying, and I may tear up saying it because it's very powerful. Those who have walked through the fire spread sparks of light everywhere they go. Those that have walked through the fire
Yeah,
spread sparks of light everywhere they go.
absolutely. It's not an easy thing to do, to spark to the to the fire, to walk through the fire, you know. But it is true that they bring. But sometimes it takes a lot, and it should do it. You should be able to do it. That's so important, you know. Yeah, my goals right now is more trying to stabilize myself, and I've been doing that very nicely. And I've made a pretty good pack of things that I want to achieve. I'm still working, and I'll never stop anyway. And so I've got quite a lot of goals which are connected with my companies, and of course my personal goals too, but mostly with my companies. And I think that it's one of the big changes I've got from this year is that I'm going to start traveling quite a lot again. And so it's my goal is to try to measure, to put that together, that it gives me a good and balanced way of living, you know. So
Awesome.
that's very important. But so in 2 weeks I'm starting with the new exhibition, and then I'm going to Europe, and then I've got quite a lot of trips which will come through, because many urgencies or many sparks all over the place which I have to take care of. But that is life, and that for me it's very, very, very positive. I have to say that. And it's what I like. You know, most of my customers are rednecks. Most of my customers I know for many, many years. They all know about my transition. I don't hide from them either. But they're my friends. They are my friends, and they accept me. And this idea that rednecks are, or many rednecks are bad. Yeah, of course there are people which are bad with our community, but it's not as much as you think. It's more the politicians than anybody else anyway. So, but I mean, I've seen many people from many different parts of the world, which which they give us quite a lot of acceptance. It's just let the other people live. Let the other people live the way they want. That's all. We let the other people live as well. So it should become the same way. Jeannie, you have something to say about that?
Um, I don't get involved in the politics of the world because it just doesn't apply. So I think and I know this to be true. There's multiple realities occurring simultaneously at the same time on top of one another in different frequencies. So I live in a reality where it's peace, love, and happiness and tranquility. And uh, I try to be an example for others on how to do this. And we have to understand that. And I got to leave here in like about 1 minute. I got to get my dog from the dog daycare.
Okay.
But we can live our life in such a way that we're in harmony with all things. And I
Absolutely.
can't emphasize this enough. We're all dancing with each other on this cosmic stage,
Yes, we are.
and our thoughts are what orchestrate the movement of this dance. So if I think Bobby mentioned this, uh, Job in the Bible, Job said, "What I feared most has come about." So, uh, by one of the benefits of being fearless is that you're not going to attract anything. Fear can attract uh, events, or fear can attract the same as hope and praying. So if we're fearful that we're going to be reprimanded or ridiculed, we're going to attract that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's all the power of the mind and the heart space, which is what I started with. How is it that an alligator kills a pig on the side of the river, but for the most part, humans walk in harmony with themselves around the world for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think humans have um, just an ability to radiate energy, and maybe the alligator does too. Maybe the alligator radiates energy that the alligator's in the position to attack the pig on the side of the river. I was listening to a podcast earlier in 1920, it was thought that there was only one galaxy,
Mhm.
or 1820, whenever it was. Years ago, scientists, astronomers only thought that there was one galaxy, the Milky Way. Now there's 100 billion galaxies. So look at it that way. Years ago, everyone used to think that the Earth was flat. Now we realize that there's 100 billion galaxies out there.
Yeah.
And we got to sign off now because I'm at the zero barrier.
Okay.
So
Anyway, you're absolutely correct. And okay, we'll close it now. And I just want to tell to everybody who is watching us, be positive, attract positiveness, and be fearless, because that's the only way to go. Okay. And all those words, bye everybody.
namaste.
Stay. Bye. Bye. So we're finished. We are not live anymore.